Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now the weather has taken a considerable drop in temperature. It's only about, well, the time is 10 past 1 and the temperature is only 9 degrees. So I thought we'd just have a look at the garden first before we go into the greenhouse to have a look what they have to do in there. But I've got to show you this Wisteria. And well, we've got to have a look at this Wisteria, haven't we? It's absolutely gorgeous. One mass of blooms and still plenty to come out. Absolutely lovely. I don't think it's ever been as nice as this, and it's only in a little pot there. It's been in that little pot there, what, 11 years? Right. But I've been feeding it plenty of phostrogen, and it's showing up very, very well now. Then we've got the Yucca there, still going strong. Just needs the leaves, some of the dead leaves pulling off, and they'll grow again. It's due for flowering again this year as well. And the last thing in the garden at the moment that has a bit of colour is this red robin. You know, it's a nightmare really, but it does look really nice. I mean, I call it a nightmare because I have to chop this down 3 times a year. And the more I chop it, the more it keeps growing. But I can't let it get any higher because if it gets any higher than that, I'll not be able to reach it. But a lovely little bush, aren't they? The only thing in the garden now is a couple of Clematis, and these are just open with the and the blue. Only tiny, tiny little flowers. See if I can show you one. There we are. But a lovely colour of blue. I think when they're all open, it'll be quite nice, that one. And the one next door to it is sort of a purplish colour, a ruby colour, what they call it. And that's doing a nice bit of flowering. Let's have a look at the blooms on this one. There they are. Not very big, but very nice. Right, we're in the greenhouse now and everything's growing well there. There's the small tomato plants are growing a bit bigger every day, and the begonias are coming on very well. I think it's the warmth that's bringing them on properly. But before I went in for lunch, I took the Cattleya Dracaena out of its pot because that needed repotting. And I'll just show it you. Those are 2 new leaves on it, and it's got a good root system too. So I'm just going to repot this up, and I'm repotting it because it's been in that bark now for about 18 months. So I thought it's time I changed it. So we're going to repot this one up now. Right, I've just made a new pot to put this Dracaena in. I'll just show you. I've just made the holes big enough so it gets plenty of air. As you know, these live right on the top of trees, and they get plenty and plenty of air in the wild. And they don't like getting as wet as most of the other cattleyas. So keep these a little bit dry. Well, I'm going to pot this up in the same stuff as I always use now, which is the largest type of bark, and a few bits of perlite in. So that's all I'm going to do with this. I mean, when I took this out of the pot, there's some pieces of bark just stuck onto the roots, but I'm not going to remove them. I don't want to damage the roots. Let's see where it should be, because we should keep the actual plant, the rhizome, but it hasn't got much of a rhizome, this one, yet. We need to keep that on top of the media. A little bit finicky to start with, but we'll get there. obvious signs of a new nubbins growing at the bottom of this one here. But I can't show it here because I can only feel it. I don't need to cover all the air holes up in these because they virtually like to be in the open air. But I tried to grow one on mounted, but I'm no good with mounted plants. I don't shape very well with them at all. They always seem to die off on me or take a turn for the worse, so I have to repot them again. Let's keep this one up straight first while I get all the bark in. Gotta get so much in to hold it in place. I think that'll want staking now, but I can't plant it any higher up or else. Oh, let's have a look. I have got it a bit down a bit in the pot there. That's better. That's a little higher. I think I've said keep these Dracaenas just slightly bit drier than the other plants. Especially make sure the roots are quite dry at night time because they hate the roots to be wet when it's dark. So that's about all I'm going to do for that one. I think I'll just put a piece of wire and fasten them up. Well, we've got a bamboo skewer here, so if I insert that in between the plant and the wire and just shove it right down, that should hold it pretty steady. That's pretty steady, so that'll do. So we'll put the Dracaena label back in. Keep your fingers crossed that nubbins will start growing nicely. Well, I've just straightened this Dracula out of this pot because it wasn't doing too well. It's got one or two nice new growths coming at this side, and it started growing one or two nice roots down here. They're only very, very thin roots, just like the spikes. They're like little needles when they come through. So I'm going to put it in this pot here, which has got plenty of holes in, but it won't dry out as quick as that one, which the holes are much bigger. So it wasn't a big bark, a medium bark, but now I'm going to trim this up, and then I'm going to put it in a much smaller bark. I'm going to mix some medium bark with some seedling bark and perlite and grow it in that. So I'll just get that stuff ready. So I've got the medium ready, and it's medium bark, bit of seedling bark and perlite. And I'll just show you the plant before I pack it up. I haven't trimmed it yet, but this is where it's growing from, the new side. You can see a new growth on there with signs of new root growth. So this is the plant, this is the side of the plant it's going from, because at the other side of the plant it's not doing anything whatsoever. But the roots are pretty bad and pretty shallow. But we'll just trim this up, take the yellow leaves off and get it planted. Yep, I'll just trim these bad leaves off. One there, there's only two, and one there. We'll get them thrown away, we don't want them in the substrate, do we? Right, let's pot this one up then. As you know, most people use sphagnum moss for these, but I can't stand the stuff. I don't know, it always seems to, it goes off too quickly. You know, you need to change it every 12 months. Mind you, having said that, I change everything after 12 months, apart from the frags, which I do about once every 18 months, 2 years, something like that. And that's a bit low in the pot, so I'll have to lift that up a bit. That's better. Yep, that's looking better already. Put the seedling right round the top, which keeps it a lot damper inside. A little bit more around here. And we'll call that job done. I've just put the hanger on it. I must say, if anybody's going for any of these pots like that from a place that sells Pond Life, make sure you get one with a lip on it, because they do make them, some of these, with no lip on. So we'll put the labels back in, which is a solii. And this is the other Dracula I've got, and I've had this about 6 months. I got this from Roshner, and this seems to be coming up with a spike every day nearly. It used to have 3 on, now 4, now it's got 6 on. You can see them there. Some more growing down there. So this has got 6 nice new spikes on this. So I'm quite happy with this one. I'm looking forward to the blooms. And keep these damp because they need watering. And hopefully, you know, we'll get some real nice blooms off these, because I've never kept Draculas before. So I'm becoming quite interested in different things other than slippers. Well, that's about all I have for today. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers, and thank you all to all the people who comment. I will try and answer them as quickly as I can. So until I see you next time, bye.